The fog was clearing that June night, being replaced by a light mist and a cool breeze. As the cold water perforated my face, I thought to myself, why hadn't I checked the weather report before heading to the pharmacy? An umbrella would have made this walk home a little more bearable. You know what? It's not a big deal. Home is less than a mile away, and it's not worth paying the $10 for a ride. Besides, the cold muck would give me an excuse to soak in a hot bath when I get home and put off my work until tomorrow. It's settled then. I'm going to walk. I stepped to the crosswalk and pressed the button, waiting patiently for the little green man on the sign to say it was safe to cross. Looking around, though, I noticed how asinine this was, considering there were literally no cars outside. I've always loved this part of town. Nestled in the hustle and bustle of a bigger city, it seems like a refuge of old architecture breathing life into commerce. The old 2-story brick buildings all used to be something else, but now they hold something newer. The Dollar Theater across the street used to serve as an actual theater house, hosting plays and live performances. The florist shop on the corner where I stood was once a place of cutlery, and even the pharmacy I just left was once a hardware store, dispensing tools and supplies to a growing community that one day said we're big enough and no longer need you. Oh shit, the green man says go. I recall thinking to myself, what would my mother say hearing me curse out loud, or did I just think it? No matter. The rain began picking up as I crossed the street. Not quite monsoon style, but definitely letting us mortals know how little we were compared to Mother Nature. As I walked past the last area of the storefronts and began to step into the residential streets, a massive boom struck behind me. The sky lit up with a brilliant illumination, reminding us mammals why shelter was a good thing. Oh shit, I'm doing it again. I'm staring up at the sky, lost in the beauty of it. The rain is really picking up, and I clutch the pharmacy bag in my hand, knowing how important it is and fearing the water was going to somehow harm its contents. I said that vile word again. God, what would my mother think? Shaking my head, I clear my mind and focus. I stick the bag in the left pocket of my trench coat as the rain begins a full-blown downpour. I've got to get out of this. Home is 1 block up and 4 blocks over, but there's not very many trees on this street to help shield me from the rain. If I were to cut through the alleyways here at the end of Commerce District, I could save myself some serious time and use the overhangs of the building to shield myself from the rain. Of course, the only question is there anything else in the alleyway doing the same? The thunder cracked across the sky, causing me to jolt and fall backwards. I'm soaking wet on the sidewalk. Screw it. I've got to get home. The sky began to light up continuously, as if some Greek deities were waging war above us. Using that light, I began trotting quickly towards the dark alleyway. I looked at the 2 buildings that were forming the opening to the pathway behind. The 2 old brick structures stood as they had for 60 years, making me wonder how many before me had taken this ominous, dark path for similar situations. That thought brought me some sort of relief as I entered the darkness. 4 blocks down the alleyway, 1 block up, and I'm home. The rain itself didn't seem to be as bad, since the overhangs and old fire escapes shielded a lot of the water from falling down upon me. The dark, narrow path was barely wide enough for a single car, but with the garbage cans and other forms of debris scattered throughout, it was pretty apparent the vehicles hadn't come this way in some time. The sound of endless dripping echoed throughout the alleyway, muffling the sound of my own footsteps. It seemed as if the darkness itself had silenced me from existence. 20 feet in, I passed the first threshold of garbage and debris. It was here I found the pathway opened up. 20 feet or so into the alleyway, the old garbage and debris seemed to dissipate and give way to a dark world unto its own. As the water trickled down all around me, I could begin to hear the not-so-subtle sounds of movement. Scurrying and rustling was all around me. The creatures that called this alley home were desperately trying to find refuge and warmth, not unlike me. I quickened my stride. This is a shortcut after all, and I shouldn't linger. A cold breeze from the entrance of the alleyway to my back filled the dark, narrow corridor with a chill. A few lights hung here and there, casting faint and eerie glows, as if a weak dimness is all that I have showing me the way. Dripping wet, cold, and miserable, I continued on my journey, finding myself halfway through the alleyway thinking that it's not as scary as it seems down here. The faint yellow glow, the occasional sound of a rodent or cat in the dripping water, all seemed to remind me of the life that lived here. In some weird way, this gave me comfort. The sound of thunder, louder than before, echoed like a cannon, instinctively dropping me to my knees, throwing my hands over my head. The eerie glows were suddenly replaced with an empty void. Car alarms and sirens could be heard in the distance a world away from me, and creatures in the dark screeched. I found myself regretting this path. Squatting in the muck of the alleyway with my hands clasped over my ears, I squinted my eyes shut as hard as I could, now afraid to open them. What are you doing? That chilled voice scared me, but yet a valid reminder.
What are you doing?
Is that in my head? Or in the alley? I'm so freaking disoriented right now. Was the thunder really loud enough to do this to me?
What are you doing there?
Obviously, I'm shielding my ears and closing my eyes because I'm too afraid to move. Wait. Oh my god, what is that? What is going on? Just open your eyes and look. That's all I needed to do. But I couldn't. Or can't. I'm so confused right now. Paralyzed with fear, knowing that I was not alone. Was I? Mama, I hated you so much growing up, but right now I would kill to have you by my side. You always made the monsters go away. Was it a mugger? Or some monster? I could hear footsteps approaching. Oh crap, what was I thinking? I should have just taken the ride. Why can't I just get along with people? Who is this and what do they want? The footsteps were closing in. The sound piercing my body with overwhelming paranoia. I can feel the hairs on the back of my neck standing upright. Just open your eyes and look. That's all I needed to do is open my eyes and look. You stupid little coward! You stupid little rat! My mother's words echoing through my mind.
What the hell are you doing here?
Oh my god. It's not in my head. I'm not alone. Who are you? What do you want from me? I crouched there, dripping not only with water, but sheer terror. I could feel the unknown entity approaching me. Trembling with my eyes still shut, I reached out slowly on the ground, looking for something, anything, to defend myself with. The footsteps were right behind me when my hand touched the slimy piece of rotted wood. Be strong, be strong, be strong. The The thunder roared once again, echoing to the alleyway as two hands clutched my hips, pulling me backwards. Without thought, I thrust upward, swinging the wood around ferociously at whatever or whoever had dared place their hands on me. Through the illumination and the lightning, I saw the figure of blackness dissolve like a cloud as the wood passed through it. Oh my God. My heart was racing and my breathing irregular. What was that? I thought to myself, attempting to fight the overwhelming anxiety now completely engulfing me. Oh my God, oh my God, oh my... I'm hyperventilating. Clutching my chest, I dropped the piece of wood and fell again to my knees. Oh my God, oh my God. Breathe in, breathe out. I've got to calm down. Catch your breath. It wasn't really there. You know what this means. It doesn't matter right now. Just catch your breath. I gritted my teeth and forced to my chest to catch a regular pattern. Breathe in, breathe out. It's not real. The thunder just overdid it. I've got to get home. The rain is now pouring an endless onslaught of cold misery down upon me. Regaining my composure, I slowly stand up. Get a hold of yourself. It's just a dark alley and a storm. God, what would your mother think right now? Glancing back over my shoulder at the route I've already taken, I realize I've gone almost halfway. Turning back would be pointless. Placing my hand on my head, I shook the rain from my face. Come on, be a big girl, you can do this. The alley didn't seem too bad, but still gave an eerie, unsettling feeling as I began to trek through the horrendous downpour. Just look down and walk fast. The solution seems so simple that I feel like a moron not thinking of it sooner. The water was washing along my feet, completely saturating my toes, but forming an even, flowing path that I could focus on as I continued forward. Your mother always said, put one foot in front of the other. 1 block to go. This really isn't that big of a deal at all. I can see the faint outline of the street ahead of me, but yet the rain itself made it hard to make anything out. A thick wall of water and darkness lay between the visual relief I was seeking, but all I got was the veil of darkness this alleyway cast on me. Almost there. Wait. What is that? Thunder roared once again as lightning illuminated the exit to the alleyway, giving birth to the shadowy figure guarding the exit. Oh crap. It is real. My heart began to race as I frantically looked for something to defend myself. I won't let you get me this time. My eyes scurried over the wet debris all around me, squinting through the dark, trying to find something I could use as a makeshift weapon. A stick, a brick, something like the wood before. A shard of metal? My eyes caught a short piece of rebar procuring through some old, soggy cardboard. Perfect. Grabbing the metal, I felt a slight sting as the serrated, mangled thing had pricked my palm. Pulling my hand away, I looked back up the dark figure, now slowly getting closer to me. I reached towards it again, and this time grabbed a hold of my soon-to-be makeshift weapon. I pulled with all of my might, tearing it from the soggy garbage it had been nestled in. Brandishing the short piece of rebar in one hand towards the approaching dark figure, I began to slowly back away. Who are you? What do you want from me? I continued to slowly walk backwards as the shadow, keeping the same pace and equal motion to me. I slightly stepped right. It moved right. I stepped back. It moved forward. The shadow, this demonic entity, was taunting me, mimicking everything that I would do. That's when it hit me. The thunder struck again as I yelled through the storm, demanding answers. Are you real? I took the rebar by both hands, brandishing it like an ancient katana, preparing to slay my foe. The shadow moved closer, no more than 10 feet from me now. Are you real? The dark figure moves closer. What do you want from me? Why are you following me? The figure, now no more than 5 feet from me, stared at me with no eyes, no face, no features to make out at all. The rain itself seemed to pass through it, not giving it any sign of being a physical creature or being. Last time, asshole, are you real? Pointing the tip of the rebar at the shadow man, it appeared to slightly tilt its featureless head. Although it had no mouth, I swear it was smiling at me. I drew the rebar back, preparing to swing with all I had, screaming at the top of my lungs, "Are you real?" The black figure, appearing to acknowledge my demand for answers, simply shrugged and vanished into the storm. I stood there with the rain pouring down upon me, and the rebar reared back up as if going to bat. Oh. Okay then. You okay? What was that? The voice came from the right of me. Sharply turning, preparing to face my foe, I saw 2 grisly eyes staring through some sort of deformed creature. Its figure was hunched, preparing to launch. Its eyes were sharp, savoring the sight of its next meal. Its smell horrific, as if it's the rot of its victims. My foe had finally appeared. No more of the shadows, and no more of stalking me in the night. I screamed the mighty battle roar as I drew back and plunged the tip of the rebar into the center of the beast. The creature pressed against the wall, making horrific noises that I could barely make out over the sound of the storm. I pushed and pushed, ensuring my weight would encourage the demise of the beast. A click. I felt the rebar finally fully pierced the meat of the monster that meant me harm. The rebar now pressing against the brick walling. Confident in the imminent demise of this foul fiend, I leaned in, still clutching my alley-made katana, and glared into the eyes of evil. The creature drew one last breath as a bubble of blood spewed from its mouth. You've been hunting me a long time, but I've been waiting since I was a little girl to finally kill you, you mighty beast in the dark. The creature became lifeless as the darkened eyes became light blue. The furry thing's mouth gave wind to a beard. The dark silhouette became granny clothes worn by a man down on his luck. And the smell was merely the garbage he used as a makeshift shelter to escape the storm. Oh my. I quickly stepped back, pulling the rebar from his body. He sunk down, falling into the corner of the brick wall and the garbage can he had been resting next to moments ago. Looking around, I couldn't help but be so confused. Oh my. I dropped the bloody rebar onto the ground as the rushing water instantly cleansed it of any crime. Oh my, oh my, oh my, I'm very confused right now. So this is the point in my story. All the inconsistencies start to add up. Is it past tense or present? First person or third person? Fiction or nonfiction? Funny thing is, I ask myself these questions about my own life on a daily basis. I really shouldn't have waited a week to refill my prescription. You see, the medication itself is fast-acting and very effective as long as it stays in your system. Or so the doctors tell me. I should probably take one right now. It might make this situation more understandable for not only myself, but who's ever listening to this story right now. Placing my hand on my jacket pocket containing the pill bottle, I realized that If I take them out now, they might get wet and soggy. I take one more look at the bearded man who now lies dead, not exactly sure how to process what just happened. God, would Mother think? I really need to get home. A bath sounds amazing right now. Taking a deep breath, attempting to collect my thoughts, I continued my journey to exit the alleyway, knowing full well home is 1 block away and the storm will soon completely wash away the alley, as if nothing was ever there.